Hi, so this is a nice little problem in basically working through different ways interest can accumulate. So we have two funds, a fund A and a fund B. And what we're going to do is apply a nominal monthly interest rate to the first fund, and we're going to apply a force of interest to the second one. Okay, so at time t equals 0, it says 1 is deposited in each fund. So that's simple. Just means there's an implied multiplication by 1 in every fund. It says t in years is the time that the two funds are equal. T is greater than 0. Determine t. Okay, so I will in a second talk about this plot, which of course isn't available on a calculator, but it will help you to understand the problem. So let's just start with Fund A. Okay, so Fund A accumulates at an annual nominal interest rate of 12% convertible monthly. Okay, so this is a straightforward formula if you want to see the amount after T years of $1 deposited. Well, it's just 1 plus the monthly nominal interest rate divided by 12, raised to the power of 12 because there's 12 compounds per year times the number of years. So this breaks everything down into months, and it determines the value at time t, which is in years. Okay. And ends up being 1.01 to the 12t. So A is easy. Okay, B, we now have a annual force of interest, delta of t equals t over 6. Okay, so the standard formula for the growth factor of a force of interest problem is you take E raised to the power of the integral from initial time to the end time, and you integrate the force of interest function. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, the initial time we're going to call time 0, right? And t, capital T, is some arbitrary time where it will determine the value at time t. Okay, so we plug everything in. We have e to the integral of 0 to t of t over 6 dt. And using standard power rule, this just becomes, if you take the antiderivative, it becomes t squared divided by 2. So the 6 times 2 gets you the 12. So it's a standard calculation to simplify this to e to the t squared over 12, just using calculus, antiderivatives, power rule. Okay. So we're trying to see kind of when are these equal? Well, it should make sense that eventually Fund B should start growing much quicker than Fund A, because you have this e to the t squared divided by 12. Well, with t is very big, this gets very concave. Whereas the first one is also concave, but it's 1.01 to the 12t. So the fact that this is t to the 1 makes it grow slower for large t. So this graph over here comparing the two should make sense, in the sense that the blue one starts out a little bit bigger, and eventually there's some takeover time where the red one gets bigger. So that's exactly what we're looking for, is this time where they equal. And we can conclude before then the blue one's better, after that the red one's better. Okay, so this is very straightforward. You set the two equal and solve for t. Okay, so if I do that, so we have 1 point, let me fix this. So I have 1.01 to the 12t equals e to the t squared divided by 12. Okay, so this makes sense that the way we would solve for t is the unknown resides in an exponent. Well, that should sort of scream to take the log of both sides. So you take the log of both sides. On the left-hand side, what I'm going to do is, there's a rule in math, ln of a to the b equals, you can pull the exponent out, b ln a. So if you take ln of both sides here, you get 12 t ln of 1.01 equals, if I take ln, the e will go away. So you'll get t squared divided by 12. Okay. So we know t is going to be a positive number, so I can cancel, let me do this. I can cancel the t to the 1 on both sides. So this t will go away. This will become a power of 1. And now if I multiply both sides by 12, you end up getting 12 times 12 is 144. So you get 144 ln of 1.01 equals t. And a calculator shows that you could end up plugging this in and you get equals 1.4328. So some remarks about this. T cannot be a decimal if you think about it practically, because Fund A compounds monthly. So you can't compound at 1.43 years, right? It's confusing. So the most important thing is whatever the mathematical number says where these are equal, you have to make sense of it practically. So before this time, you can conclude that Fund A wins, and after that time, Fund B wins.